Welcome to Scene, where the art world meets the real world. Every 2 weeks, we sit down with emerging and established artists to offer a genuine glimpse into their lives and minds, all in an authentic and totally straightforward manner. I'm Carrie Scott, your host. And with 2 decades of experience as a curator and art historian, I firmly believe in the transformative power of art, if it's seen. Have you seen Violeta Sofia's work? It's symphonic. This is not just your ordinary fashion photographer or portrait photographer or celebrity photographer. Sure, that's something that she does. But her personal work, her fine art, my God, it's amazing. She incorporates natural elements like leaves and flowers into her art, and she blends all these natural elements with mixed media, and the result is this like rich tactile composition that really celebrates natural beauty, complexity. She is really telling a story about self and wanting to be seen. I think this photographer is so engaging, and we're in for something super special. Violeta Sofia, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are here with us. You and I have met one time in real life, but I am a fan through and through. Your work is amazing. You are amazing. And I think I just want to start with, you divide your practice. I would say you divide your practice between fashion, like high fashion portraiture, and fine art.
Yes.
How is that? Like, how does that go for you? Is that an easy balancing act?
I think for me it's easy, but sometimes I find that people find it hard to understand that I do both of them. So sometimes you're lucky, you find people that understand, yes, I could see what you're trying to say here, I could see what you're trying to say over there. But a lot of the times I find that I need to hide a little bit of who I am so people can understand what I do, for people to want to work with me. Because if I say, and I mean, I do those things and I do a lot more that I'm not showing to anyone really, or I might even sell it in different places, or even sometimes I will use a different name because I like to be creative. And for example, when I do the arts, a lot of the arts that I'm really involved with is quite personal, is quite about my inside, and I try to bring everything that I have in out, and it could be quite heavy. So sometimes I like to do things that are not heavy. Sometimes I want to paint flowers. Sometimes I want to experiment, but I never talk about those, and they're quiet and they do quite well on their own. But I think if I was to put them all together, people would just run away from me. That's how I feel.
Is that because you've had an experience where someone's been like, oh, I don't get it? Or is that just an instinct you have?
No, I think it's experience. So, I mean, when I do, so for example, I did marble boxes. So the first piece that made me believe that I was an artist, or the first piece that made me drop everything, is because I was doing marble boxes, and it was political art. It's marble
Like
box
cigarette.
Yeah. So I was doing these little paintings, and it was marble boxes, and I will put different messages inside, warning signs about humanity and the things that we do to each other. And that was the first piece that went into the Royal Academy, and everyone was in love with it. And I was really proud, and I continued doing them. But as soon as I start doing something else, people will have a choice, obviously. And they will say, okay, I like the marble boxes. Okay, I like the flowers. Okay, and then as soon as they see that I do something else, it's a bit of, oh, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. You don't know. Basically, it then all falls on me that I don't know what I want with my life. And because I was kind of tired of those comments, I just keep everything very separately. I'm still very much in love with what I do. I love doing the portraiture. I love meeting people. And it's probably one of the things that put me quite a bit on the map, doing the celebrities. And I enjoy that. But then I do my hands, those have been doing quite well. And the reason why I'm really committed to my hands and the reason why I really like doing the hand masters is because I feel that it's art that hasn't been seen before. So when I do the pop art, I have fun. I like sending this message out and helping humanity. But I feel the hands are more of a signature.
And so let's talk about the hands, because
Yeah.
you've in like 5 minutes, you've managed to touch on like three things that I'm desperate to talk about. Um, and right, so I want to come back to flowers because I think you have a thing with flowers.
Yes.
Two, it's interesting to me that like the series I know best of yours, you're actually hidden in it, right? It's your hands, but you're hidden, and you're talking
Yeah.
about hiding, and you're talking about, putting things in boxes and
Yeah.
keeping them separate. And then
Yeah.
there is this self-portrait where no one can see you.
Yes.
How did that series come about for you?
So that was I have vitiligo, and that started when I was 19. And I've one of my favorite features was were always my hands, and I think that was. I mean, if I want to go more in depth, it's because I grew up in a country where I was the only. I grew up in Spain. I was the only Black person everywhere I looked around. So my beauty was not something that was accepted. It wasn't something that was understood. It wasn't something that was seen as beautiful. So I never looked at myself and said, oh, I've got a beautiful face. I've got beautiful lips. I've got beautiful anything. But I always felt like, oh, I have beautiful hands, and that no one can deny that. And then I started getting vitiligo in my hands. And I was like, oh my God, my hands, not my hands. And I was really scared for some time because it would come and go. And I was petrified. And I would look, I mean, I think I moved to London, and then there was, I think her name is Winnie Varlow, and she's got vitiligo. I was so scared of looking at her. Even though I thought she was beautiful, I was so scared of, if I look at her, I have to accept how my future will be. And I don't know if I could accept that. And then for some time, started growing in my hands, and I couldn't see my hands anymore. All I could see was patches. But then my hands became completely white, and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. So I felt like I could look back at my hands without any patches and just see the shape. And I just started, I took one picture by accident. I wasn't onto anything. I just realized it, and I was like, okay, let me put it out there. And people were reacting quite well to it. And then I thought, okay, let me do a Christmas card. I try to do a Christmas card every year. And I thought, okay, let me do it with poinsettia flowers, my hands. And I was like, oh, okay, this one is even better because I was wearing like a nice shirt, and the picture was darker, and it reminded me a little bit more of Paul Masters. And then I started looking into old masters, Dutch flowers, and I was like, oh, okay, I could imitate a Dutch flower with my hand. And the story behind the hands is just embracing my hands and creating them. I mean, embracing myself, embracing my vitiligo. It's about growth. And my hands are in shirts, so beautiful, different shirts. And they just represented, the shirt represents the vase, my hands represent the flowers, and they're part of a composition of beauty and acceptance and growth. And the impact that it's having on other people is something that I was never expecting. I was just telling my story. I wasn't trying to tell other people's stories through my hands. But then I get a lot of people coming back to me and telling me about how they feel about different areas of their body, and how looking at my hand has encouraged them to talk about maybe being deaf or having some kind of disability. So it feels good.
But I also think that there's, hand, like reaching out to someone, you
Yes.
offer your hand, you hold their hand. If someone is frightened, like if my kids are frightened, they grab my hand, right? So there's this beautiful symbolism in that work of like your hands are kind of reaching out to hold something, sure, or to pose. But it also feels like almost an olive branch, which I think is beautiful.
I mean, I do use my hands a lot. So it's not only, yes, they could be beautiful, they're different, I have loved them. but it's something that I use quite a lot. And I noticed that when I talk, I mean, I grew up in Spain, and hands is a thing that you move all the time, and I touch a lot, which was a little bit weird at the beginning for people, but yeah, now people got used to it. But yeah, I use my hands constantly. It's more than just how beautiful or not beautiful, or original or different they are.
When did you come to photography, or how did you come to photography?
So I've always had photography. My dad, I guess he would have. So my dad studied medicine, but I think at heart he was always drawing. He was taking pictures. So I would go on journeys with him, and we would just take pictures, and it just created a bond between us, me and my dad. I had a difficult upbringing, but that was my safety area with my dad, and connecting. And yeah. So basically, me and my dad, I mean, my whole family, we had a difficult upbringing. And to me, having the photography with him, it just made everything a lot more calm between us. There was no arguments. There were no fights. We would just go take pictures. It's something that we both like and we do together. And so it was very special. So I got it from him. He would buy all the equipment. I would use it. I would steal it if I could. And yeah, that's how we started. I think I was about 8 when I started using an SLR. Before that, I had like I think it's called like a half frame camera. It's like a compact, but with one 35 mil film, you would get double the pictures. So I love that camera. And then I moved onto having SLRs, different lenses. I started doing landscape because it was the easiest. It was the most available thing to do. And then I started doing people. And I mean, I didn't think anything of the people as I was growing up. But I think as I got more mature, I really enjoyed people more, or photographing people more. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I just like being around people. It doesn't matter if I'm taking a picture or not. It's just that holding a camera makes it more fun.
Or it gives you access to, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be like, hey, can I take a picture with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. It gives you access. Yeah.
Do you enjoy the celebrity side of things? Do you enjoy sort of getting to know people that are kind of icons, but getting to know them on your terms?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. The first time that I started taking celebrity pictures, I thought they would just be ready for a picture. I thought they would love. I thought they would be used to it. But it was just, I couldn't believe that they didn't want to have a picture taken, most of them. And some of them felt really uncomfortable. And I was like, what's going on? You're an actor. You're in front of the camera all the time. So that was a big shock for me. And then, but yeah, I love meeting celebrities. Funny enough, I feel like I'm meeting them, but at the same time, I'm just working. I'm very disconnected with who they are. I'm very disconnected with, I might be a fan of them. Even if I'm a fan, I just shut down. There is no, I've seen this person in a film. It's just a sitter. I need to get this picture. And sometimes I only have 5 minutes. So I don't have time in my head to be like, oh, he's I don't know, Tom Cruise. I just have to do the work. So I take myself away from the fact that these are actors or celebrities. And sometimes I miss it when I come home and I'm like, oh, I just met this huge actor, but I haven't said anything. I haven't. Yeah, it's a very weird feeling because I don't have time.
But that sounds similar to how you were describing kind of working with your father, right? That it's like this pure thing that happens, that you
Yeah,
transcend the moment, and that it's all calm and it's all okay, and that
yeah,
you can
yeah,
just be there, be present, right?
yeah. And no, I'm just present. I'm very present, and there is certain pressures. I mean, there is some actors that you connect a lot more, and it kind of feels like you have known them for such a long time, and you share experience and you play about, and it just feels like a sleepover whilst you're doing the photo shoot, and that is fun. I'm quite lucky. I think I connect quite well with my sitters, and that shows in my pictures, so they feel quite comfortable, and I'm happy with the results that I get, and I never try to change them. I just want to catch who they are and who they want to show me. But yeah, I love it. I love sometimes you have situations where you're in a photo shoot and you're hearing things that you shouldn't be hearing, and that is quite interesting. It's kind of like having a tabloid and reading about someone, and you're just sitting there, and it's just so casual. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure I shouldn't be listening to this, but yeah, it's just so that's quite funny and it's fun. Yeah.
I know that, right, one of the things I think you and I really initially bonded on is
Yes.
we both feel really it's important to both of us that we talk about representation of women, kind of generally,
Yes.
but really specifically as well in the art world, where I can do the statistics, but I don't want to because it just makes me mad. Literally my heart rate goes up. But you have had kind of extraordinary success given your age, given that you're a person of color. And I this isn't even a question. It's more a like, how do you feel when you're reflecting on kind of where you are right now? Are you able to sit back and say, okay, like I have been in the National Portrait Gallery. I was in the Royal Academy. I did a show at Christie's. I'm getting there and I'm changing the game. Or are you like, God damn it, hurry up, get faster? Because right, if you're a person of color and a woman, 1% of most
Yeah.
museums, 1% show your work. And that's still like I said, it makes my blood boil. It's beyond. It's 2024. How are we in that state? And when I was preparing for this, I was like, oh my God, I'm looking down at my notes. Like she's actually doing it. Like she's changing the game. This is amazing. Like, do you sit there and be like, yeah, I'm doing it?
The thing is, I'm always complaining, Carrie.
Me too.
Always. I go to a room and I'm always like, no, this needs to change. That needs to change. So I don't think I have time to stop and be like, oh, okay, wow, you've achieved that. Even I was doing an interview for a professional photo, and I was saying that, oh, there is not enough Black female photographers. And because especially during the lockdown, there was a lot of people that were waking up to the inequality, and they will approach you and they will feel like they're trying to be equal, but they will only put you in a box. They'll be like, oh, okay, we're looking for more representation, but we only want you to take pictures of color and of people of color. And I've never had that situation, because when you look at my portfolio, probably it's completely the opposite, where maybe 2% of the people that I photograph are Black. And it's not by choice. It's just the reality. But then when I said that, the guy that was doing the interview just asked me, but you're not taking pictures of Black people. And I had to think back, and I was like, oh my God, yes, you're right. How do I backtrack? How do I, so that was a very good question. Yeah. So I might say, so now, even now when you're saying this, I might say, yes, I need to be more grateful of what I have achieved. And my plan is always to push the boundaries, even though sometimes I don't stop and think, yes, I've done it. But I feel also that even though you push the boundaries and you break barriers, once you're in something, you see how things work and why the reality is the way it is. And that sometimes could be a little bit frustrating, because even if things are changing, there's still so much to change at the bottom. And that is, I don't know if to say it's a frustration, but it does open my eyes to how things works. And everyone has a barrier. So even a lot of the times it's women that are pushing my work, and that is great. But I need to understand that you also have your challenges. We don't have the same challenge. So you're a woman, but you might not be a Black woman. So unless I talk to you, you're not going to understand what is my situation. You might just see me as a woman, but I'm also a Black woman. And I will have the same problem with, oh, I'm doing the Black female fight. But then someone else behind me will come and say, oh, yeah, but I'm disabled. And you don't see that side of it. So I think as long as we understand and as much as we can try to have that conversation, I think that's what helps. Because at the beginning, when you see that for the first time, I was like, oh my God. And that could have made me stop. But I thought, okay, I need to understand that these women are also fighting their own fight, even just to me to be here as a woman, it doesn't matter what color I am, they're doing a fight for me. So yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, you just said it now, that I've been at Christie's and the Royal Academy and the National Portrait, which is huge. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm doing it. Yeah. But it's hard for me to go, oh, I've done it or I'm doing it.
Well, listen, I mean, there's no secret about it, but I'm thrilled to hear that, because we do need to push. And I mean, I think it's still generations away, right? I
Yeah.
don't think, as you said, it comes from the bottom. We need young girls now believing that they can see themselves
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely. That is the
That
plan.
is the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, speaking of plans, what is the plan? Like, what are you working on? What can you tell us? What's
So at the moment, I'm working. So I did the National Portrait Gallery last year with the opening with the female exhibition. And my first question is, or was, am I the first? Am I the only one? Do you have any other photographers of color? And they said no. And I said, okay, well, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, to me, always the answer is going to be no, but you always ask it. And I was like, okay. And then I try to, so for example, so when I join or when I work with establishment or a person, it's very hard for me to come, do the job and leave. I always like to leave an input. I always like to change things if I don't agree with them, or just even if they're good, to make them better and then carry on to something else. So I was at the time communicating with Georgia Atienza at the National. She's been very supportive. And we were just in this conversation about being a woman. I mean, the National Portrait Gallery were really good to me, and they wanted to promote me as much as possible. Originally, they didn't know I was a Black photographer because of my name. So they found my picture through Vogue. And yeah, they were very happy. So as soon as I appeared, they were like, yes, let's talk about you. Let's do interviews. They didn't want to change anything about me because I had situations where people tried to make me look more Black than I was, especially during the Black Lives Matters. If they do an interview, they will try to make me sound more Black. They would choose my Black pictures, and I have like two. So they will try and find. So I was really guarded with these kind of situations, but the National were like, yeah, whatever you want to tell us, whatever you want to say. So I was really comfortable with them. After that exhibition, I wrote to them. And so Flavia was the curator at the time. So I was talking to Flavia. I was like, Flavia, we need to have an exhibition. I've been looking at your acquisitions. You need more people of color, not only Black, but so many other colors. I think I could throw you so many names, and they need to be in the gallery. They were like, okay, let's think about it. So it took about 8 months or something. And they came back and they were like, yes, we're interested. Can you give us a list? And I produced a list of 25 people that I think needed to be there. Originally, I said I could find photographers, but even talking to them, they still have to go and talk to someone else that is going to give them permission. So I was like, this is the list. And then now I'm in another exhibition where there is more diversity. So being the person that I am, who was always complaining, I was like, I was going through the process. In my head, there were so many things that I was fighting with. But standing in that exhibition, I was very proud of having instigated that conversation, having been part of those women that were on the wall. And what I really like about the National is that they created an exhibition that has Black people or people of color in front and behind. And it wasn't, because a lot of the time you have an exhibition that is diverse, but all of a sudden the walls, everyone is Black. And I don't think, I mean, speaking for me, I don't think I want a wall full of Black people, because that's not permanent. You just want a group of people that represents diversity. So I think they really did really well with having different people of different color, including white people, and then having the same thing at the back. So you might have maybe Dua Lipa, and then it's a Black photographer who's done it at the back. Because a lot of the times I feel with me, what happens is sometimes I have been excluded of the Black conversation as a Black artist because I don't take pictures of Black people. So I would love something like that. And I did like the exhibition that was so rich. And now I'm carrying on with that project where I'm photographing women that I think that need to be at the exhibition. That is going to be on a separate exhibition, but it's also being acquired by the National Portrait Gallery. So I photograph Royal Navy captains. I have photographed firefighters. I have photographed a chef. I have photographed a High Court judge. I've got a list of 50 people. I don't know if I'm going to photograph all of them. But if I do something in the middle of that, so about 25, I'll be very happy.
That's awesome. So basically you're telling me you're also now a curator. Great.
Oh, no.
Yes. Yes. I think I've been trying to wrap my head around for like the last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, probably a bit longer, about, and I'm going to do it, I had to jump on this because I haven't wrapped my head around it yet, but Thelma Golden, I read an article where she was quoted as talking about like this, that we're in a post-Black moment, which, right, that's been around for sort of 15, maybe 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really properly trying to wrap my head around it because I was in an artist studio and all his work is about representation. And he's a young man living in New York. Great work. I mean, exceptional work. But I felt like, I was like, I feel like we did that. I feel like we did that whole thing. And that now we're moving on to another moment that isn't just about like looking at people of color, but like, almost the kind of shackles are off and you can go wild now. So that's a really long-winded way of me saying I kind of understand what you're saying insofar as you're like, I don't have to photograph Black people to be a Black photographer. And it's ridiculous that people would want to put you in that bucket or would confine you in that way. Because it's just not, it's just so much more complex than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that we're coming out of that. I mean, I hope we're coming out of that. I don't really do. I mean, I don't photograph Black people. The only way for me to photograph Black people is to photograph myself, or if I do a test. So I hope we're seeing. Yeah, I hope people are seeing it. I hope people are accepting that you're not going to give me a job you're not going to give me a commercial job that is about female underwear because I'm a woman, or about LGBT. If I'm LGBT, it's still happening, but I'm just hoping that it's less and a woman could get a cool BMW photo shoot or something like that. So I'm hoping, but I feel, I'm hoping. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep doing it. And I mean, it's easier to say than to do it. At the moment, I'm doing a project about women. So I don't know if I'm helping or not.
Tell me about the project on women.
No, so this is the project that I'm doing. So I'm doing an exhibition to bring representation on women, because normally I always do actresses. So I want to photograph other type of women. I also get put down as well because I only do celebrities. So I go to a lot of places and they're like, oh, but you only do celebrities. And I'm like, okay, I thought people would be impressed. So let me just do not. And it's been amazing. I mean, it's great to meet celebrities, but it's also great to meet other women that have worked really hard and no one knows about them. And they might be the only one or the two. And yeah, I think they should be celebrated. And it's making me look at things in a different way. And I'm spending more time with them. I'm spending more time researching about them. So my communication is longer with them compared to if I'm doing a celebrity, because I'm supposed to know everything about the celebrity. I'm supposed to be photographing them really quick. So yeah, doing this woman is fun.
Do you think
Yeah.
that there's an element of storytelling in your portraiture? Whether it's yours or whether it's, are you trying to tell a story?
So I wish, I mean, so for example, it depends. When I'm doing the celebrities, it's a little bit harder because I'm picking them at a time. So I'm photographing them at a time when they're promoting the film. So even though they're coming out of character, they're still in that character. They're still portraying Elvis. So when I come to the photo shoot, he's still, Austin Butler still has that essence of Elvis. So I wish I could tell more of a story, but I'm afraid I've got a feeling that I don't tell as much as I would like to tell about the person. It's more about the character. I try to be truthful to the character and to them, but I would like to push it more. But I think
But that's so funny because I like the element of storytelling. I was looking through all your work yesterday, and the thing that does stand out is this. There's like it's even if it's if it's the hands or if it's a portrait of a celebrity or a portrait of just a person, there's this, like, I don't want to say fairy tale, but it feels like there's a whole narrative that isn't real. Like, it's not about photography as truth telling. It's not about, right, you're not a street photographer, but you're also not like a fashion photographer who's bringing this whole imaginary set. It's not Tim Walker. It's this other thing that's based in reality, but it's also about like pulling like one narrative out of someone. Like, we're so many things to so many people. And I think you kind of focus in on like one element in your sitter, and you're like, you tease that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be, so I like cinematic. So I feel like my pictures are a little bit cinematic. I like the lighting, and I mean, I like very simple photography. I like to believe that my pictures are just basic. It's just about the person. It's just about seeing the eyes and telling the story through the eyes. But I would, like I said, I would like to push it more. If I wasn't in a situation where they're promoting a film, I think the pictures will be, I could say completely different. I'm in a safe space. I could say completely different. But yeah, but I do like I want to tell the story. I would just want to be true to them. Also, it depends on how that person is being portrayed. So I photograph, for example, the Duchess of York, Sarah. And I just want to make her look grand. It was all about the colors, the hair. I just want to make her look strong. And to me, even talking to her, so she was one of the sisters that I spend a lot of time with. And she had an opinion, she had a thought, and no one was going to stop her from saying what she wants to say. So that's what I wanted to put on that picture. And yeah, so that was fun time. And then probably, I'm not sure if she's exactly like the picture that they selected, but to me, it does represent her, if that makes sense, because she's normally a lot more smiling, a lot more joyful, and a lot more talkative. But in my pictures, it looks very serious and she's commanding a lot of attention. But in my head, that's how I see her.
Maybe you just bring out the best in people. Maybe that's the answer. What if you couldn't be a photographer?
Oh dear.
What would you be? What would you do?
I think I would like to be a creative director. I think I think I'm good with ideas, and it's a little bit frustrating sometimes not being able to do all of them. So I think my dream job will be like, yes, I have an idea. Let's do this. I have an idea. And then I would just come up with 10 ideas in the day, and then seeing them done, it will be great, because that was one of the things that I think as an artist has slowed me down. When you get loads of ideas and you want to pursue all of them at the same time, and then you're like, oh, I haven't finished any of them. So yeah, having a job like that, I think I would love that. I mean, I also model on the side. I don't tell anyone. I mean, there's a couple of posts on my Instagram, but I do that from time to time. I did it the first time for a job, for Adidas job. And they just found me on the streets and they were casting. And actually, no, they found me on Facebook. And then they contacted me and they were like, oh, we're looking for someone like this and like that. And I was like, yeah, but I look different. I don't look like that anymore. I shaved my head. My vitiligo has exploded. I put on weight. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we want. And I went to the photo shoot and I had so much fun, Carrie. I had so much fun. I felt so liberated. I didn't have to hold the camera. I was not responsible for that shoot. And they feed you, and I don't know, it was just, and you just, I mean, it was amazing. It was really good. And that's how I started doing more jobs. Everyone thought that I did it all the time, but I didn't. It was just a one-off. But then from time to time.
It's funny when the table gets turned, right? Someone interviewed me the other day, and I've been doing this for, I don't know, a decade.
Yeah.
And I haven't been interviewed much. And if I have been interviewed, it's been written. And my God, I was interviewed by someone and I was like, this is the best. Like, it's so easy. You won't have to think about what's next. Like, there's no note taking, right? I'm just talking about myself. It's perfect. It's lovely.
Yeah. That was really good. And I think also as a photographer, it's a very lonely job and you can get stuck into what you do for a long time. But if you see other people using different equipment, so I was learning, I was looking and also seeing how other photographers communicate with their sitters. And I realized that I talk a lot. I'm like a cheerleader. So I had like photographers that were not saying anything to me. I was like, okay, pose. But they wouldn't say anything to me. And I was like, oh, do I talk a lot during my shoots? Because I'm like a cheerleader. If I like something, I can't stop talking. And I'm like, yeah, I talk a lot, Carrie, yeah. When I'm taking pictures.
I think it's probably because you want to get to know people. You're a bit like me.
Yeah.
Listen, on that note, my hard rule here is that these don't go over 40 minutes and we've only got 2 minutes left.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to leave it there and just watch this space. I think you are a phenomenon. The world is lucky to have you. The photography world is lucky to have you. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to do this.
Thank you. No, I'm so grateful that you invited me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Scene Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I'd love it if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to connect with us between episodes, follow us on Instagram at WatchSceneArt. I'm Carrie Scott, and I'll see you next time. Get it?